Everybody, it's Elegant Granny. I am back. This is Saturday. I normally don't come here on Saturday, but since it fell on one of the days in my 2-week Go Live challenge, I am here. For those of you who do not know me, I am Elegant Granny, your restoration strategist and creator and host of the Proactive Eye podcast. I support victims and survivors of abuse as they are coming out and they are starting on their new journey. And I help them to heal. What I also do is I'm a podcaster and I talk about different topics, different things that victims and survivors deal with. And sometimes I clue in supporters what they can do to help victims and survivors of abuse on my podcast. So if you're unfamiliar with that and you would like some information on how to best serve your clients, feel free to click the link in my bio on my profile and look for the Proactive Eye podcast link, and you can click on that and you can just fish through, and anything that sounds good to you or looks interesting, go ahead, take a listen. And, it wouldn't hurt to download a few episodes too. But anyway, came here because this is day 13 of my 2-week challenge. Challenged by my friend Julie Jordan Scott. And I challenged her. She challenged me back. That's really how it went. But anyway, I love having friends where we challenge one another, and I guess that's where I'm going today. Still, even on your transition, it is important to evaluate the people you call friends. There are some who can remain with you throughout greater portions of your journey. As you're ascending, as you're transitioning, and there are some that they have served their purpose and it's time to let them go. That is a very difficult thing, letting them go, especially when that's your ace, that's your ride or die. And there comes a time where some of them, they can't go to the next level with you. Then there are some where you are to separate for a while because there is a part where you must do a lot of work as you're shifting, and they are a distraction. Whatever it is that they are involved in, you want to be involved in it too. And there are some things that they want to see if you want to do too. And these are typically going to be things that you be like, yeah, let's go, when you need to be working on this thing over here, and it's not it's not that they are being a distraction in a negative way. Sometimes there are sacrifices that need to be made in order to get where you need to go. Sometimes you just can't hang out. Sometimes you can't just be with certain people for a little while. Once you get to that next level and you get to a plateau, yeah, sometimes it is a good thing that you can meet up with those people again. But at the end of the day, it is time to evaluate who your friends are and why they are your friends. What is the purpose of the friendship? And do you need to continue on with the friendship? That's a lot, and it's a lot to handle, and it's a very necessary thing that needs to be handled, because if not, what could happen is some other things that you were not expecting to happen could happen, and these things are very undesirable, and they are things that you aren't anticipating, and nobody wants to deal with them. You just don't. But it's life. It's life. It really is. It's life. It comes a time where you really have to evaluate, and not just them. It's not about just all inclusive of just why they are in your life, but why are you in their life as well? We need to add that to that equation or to that evaluation. Why are we in this person's life? What is this person's goal? Because if they are your true friends, you're going to know what their goals are. You're going to know what their dreams and visions and their aspirations are. If you don't know where they are, then you might need to ask yourself, am I really their friend? Because those are things that most people look for. And it could be that some people don't really look for that in a friend. But most people that I know and I'm around, those are some of the things. There's actually some of the main things that they look for in a friend. What do Granny look for in a friend? Granny looks for people who are not a yes man or a yes woman. Anytime I say, this is what I want to do, or we should do this, or we should do that, or we should go here, if I hear too many yeses, I'm not going to fool with you a whole lot. Sometimes I need to hear a conflict. And I'm not a conflict addict, but everybody doesn't have to like everything. Just because you're friends and just because you're close, you don't have to like the same things. A lot of people have an issue with that. It is okay to dislike as much as you like and still be very good friends. A lot of people don't understand how to harmonize with that. I was going to say balance, but no. This is something that needs to be harmonized. You need to learn how to be you and be in harmony with other people who are different than you are, who like something different than you do, and be okay. The both of you can be okay together, or the group of you can be together and be okay with the differences. So that's something very important to deal with when it comes to friendship, evaluating them. Where do they fit in your life? Can they be a part of your ascension? Can they, once you ascend or transition to your next level, do you still hang on to them or do you cut them off? That's another question. And not only that, where do you fit in as their friend? One of the important things that I think is important as a friend is when they speak, have a listening ear. Don't try to fix everything. Sometimes we do too much. And I used to be this person. I did. I used to be very bad with that. I was very codependent and I had to be everybody's savior and I had to fix everything. And I wasn't being a good friend. Once I worked on healing and doing the work to be healed, working along with my spiritual advisor and my mental health therapist, I started seeing myself in the place of these other people that are in my life. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm being a very good friend. Let me switch some things. And they weren't used to me having an active listening ear. I would listen and then I would already formulate a plan on how to fix their problem. And I wouldn't ask them if it was okay. I would just go ahead and start fixing. And that's not good. First of all, that wasn't even my business. Number two, it wasn't my place. Number three, I need to mind my own business. Now, if they choose to share things with me, fine. Sometimes people just want you to listen. The majority of the time, if you really think about it, if they were to be honest with you and tell you what they really want, most of the time, what you're offering, they don't really want it. They just need a free, open, safe space where they can vent. But at the end of the day, you have to also understand if you are that friend that they can dump on. There are some people who need someplace and they need a person they can feel safe to take these things to. Some people can handle it. Some people can't. Some people will be dumped on, but then they don't take it to a dumping site. Some people don't have the capacity to make it to a dumping site. Now, what I mean by dumping site, doing some energy work where you can shed all of that negativity off so that what they were dealing with isn't harming you. Because once they talk to you, and this particularly happens to a lot of life coaches and spiritual workers and people who are men and women of the cloth. This happens a lot. It happens a lot. It happens to the people who are in the medical profession. I've seen it for 30 some years. And when they don't do the work to shed off of what people have dumped onto them, they get sick. A lot of them die young. I have experienced where a psychologist that my mom used to take my sisters and I to, she lost her mind because she didn't take the time to shed some things. And this is very important. Sometimes people who are in positions like we are, sometimes we do too much and sometimes we don't do enough. We do too much for other people and we don't do enough for us, because we have to remember, in order for these people to get the help that they need us to be as healthy and as clean free as we possibly can be. So we have all these people who come and they consult with us and they ask what would be the best thing to do. And we give them the best course of action. Sometimes that calls for us listening to some things. Sometimes that calls for us to do the work with them. And then we start receiving some of the things that they were dealing with. They're feeling better. And now we start feeling some of those things. What are we going to do? What do we need to do? We don't need to say, I'm just tired. We need to have something set up. What is your plan of action? And I'm talking to me too. What is our plan of action of how we are going to tend to ourselves in between each client? Because going from client to client to client, back to back, that's not healthy. We need some space. Anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, that's a good safe space to have time in between each person to where whatever has been, especially when what you do requires spiritual warfare, you need a certain amount of time to, once that you are no longer in that person's presence, to de-stress and to work some of that off. Because that's some heavy stuff. And it may look like it's a light thing, but we don't know how deep they were dealing with that thing. And it could come and cause a big interruption with us. It can have physiological effects on you too. So my suggestion is put some space between your clients. 30 to 60 minutes. I'm talking to you as a friend right now. I don't have to know you. You don't have to know me. But I need you to be okay. Okay? Granny wants you to be okay because we are all in this together and we all have our part to do. My part is to make sure that you prevent yourself from getting sick. You prevent yourself from getting hit from things that you weren't counting on getting hit with. Okay? I need you to be safe. I need you to think of you. This is me being a friend, okay? So I'm not going to tarry long because this is Saturday and most people are out enjoying the day. I'm about to go out for a walk for a little bit because it's in the low 70s in Virginia and I'm going to enjoy it because it has been in the 50s all week. So to have a bump up 20 some degrees, you best believe I'm going out to enjoy it. So Y'all have a good day. Love you. Peace. Take care of yourselves. Be good to you. Bye.